No, I mean like an actual, like a rap song.
I think we need to make a reel before we leave.
We should. Let's make some content.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yes. 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 Barber College Success brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, and Craig's Crown Cutz, downtown Johnson City. Spreading love the Tri-City way is one way, but spreading love the Crown Cutz way is the only way. Shout out to my co-host and the hostess with the mostest.
Jordan Bar _52. Jordan Bar from Bristol, Virginia. Bristol, Tennessee.
No, that's not your name no more.
Jay. Oh yeah, I forgot.
He changed his name.
Jay Barber.
Jay Barber. I like it.
Jay Barber.
Yeah.
That's why I changed it to. That's why I finally came to a conclusion with my new Instagram name, and I'm gonna go with it.
Jay
Man,
Barber.
with it.
I mean, that's dope.
Am I Fields? Am I your barber? Mine's still the same. I'm hyped for Jordan. Got a new name. Got big things happening. Just graduated yesterday. Graduation.
That's big, though. That's major.
Cue the Kanye music.
That's big. What's going on? What's going on, my guys? Sit down.
Welcome
We
to the
waiting
studio.
for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I made it all the way to the door and I realized. All right, what's my phone?
No, you good. You good. Well,
I'm about to drop.
you good. You good. You got
Then
the
on the way back, I failed.
man.
You fail.
You had a rough day coming in.
Dang, man. Oh, dang.
That's the worst kind of fall. When you feet, yeah, especially when you dress nice, when you got your nice clothes on, and you just happens.
I don't know why people wear like white forces on a rainy day.
I can't stand that.
You got a pair of white forces?
No,
Dang, Craig.
You got white shoes on right now.
I know, but these are just like knockarounds. The white force has a different color leather than these leather.
That's Cohans.
I know.
Yeah, we getting them locked in. Put them in the matrix. We get them plugged in. Jordan, how was graduation?
Man, it's fun. It's fun. A lot of people there.
And for somebody who almost didn't want to come.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to talk you off the edge.
Had to grab his arm twisted and make sure he was coming.
Yeah.
Make fun of his Instagram name.
Yeah.
Everything. It took a whole lot of work.
Man, it had about 120 people there.
I was happy to see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there, bro.
I think graduation is important because people don't realize, especially like for barber school. There were several people right there that was their first time putting on a cap and gown.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
For real?
Yeah, that's my first time ever.
And that's dope. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know.
That just speaks to what you're doing, Craig. That's powerful. Like, things that people take for granted, like giving people jobs or education, allowing them to have a graduational ceremony. And those graduations are doper than most high school graduations, like most college graduations.
I mean, we had the DJ on the ones and twos.
And he was dancing too. He was.
Oh, Mr. Turley?
Yeah, I looked over.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, because he asked about you because he said he's from up that way.
Yeah, I know, man. There's a lot of
I
people.
just thought about that.
I know. There's a lot of people I wish I felt bad. I mean, I can't explain, like, the terrible feeling I felt when I realized I wasn't gonna be able to make it. Like, it just couldn't be there for Jordan. I talked so much trash to Jordan and then I didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how wrong it was. Like,
It worked out, but it was a good environment, good vibe, and everybody had a good time. And I enjoy it because a lot of times we don't realize graduation is our accomplishment, but it's also our family's accomplishment too because that's their joy as well. They love seeing us celebrate and have accomplishment.
and then the children, if they have children, the children see them accomplish something. You know,
And you set the bar for your kids because your grandmother was there.
Yeah, she ain't been out of the house or been. You wouldn't find a picture of her since 1960 something.
Right.
We took a few pictures last night.
Yeah, your wife, your kids, you know what I'm saying? They're just seeing that excitement.
They never expected. They're just happy for the growth.
No doubt. And that's big. That's major. Today we got a special episode. And the episode we're going to talk about how to transition from barbershop to barbershop. It's a big thing when you're in school, you transition from school to shop. But sometimes things doesn't work out where the first shop you go into. So how do you transition that? How do you leave in good grace, which you should? What is the best way to navigate those things? And we have firsthand account who just recently went through it.
I've been through it. I've been through it twice.
Yeah.
2 times. It's my second
within
time.
within the past 12 months?
Probably 2 years. It's been about 2 years.
Yeah, and the last time was in the past month.
Yeah, I mean the first time, you know, I don't want to go into particulars of it, but you know, things got rocky. Not necessarily between me and the shop owner, but just in the lack of communication and management, and even to the point to where a dude came in and was like, "Yo," because he got some misinformation from the shop owner, and he was like, "Yo, if you don't cut my hair, I'm gonna kill you." Like legit. He said, "I'm gonna go to the car, get my gun, and I'm gonna shoot you." And I was like,
Okay.
"Nah,
He was just being.
nah." Bro was serious.
Well, you have
He
to
looked
take
me in my eyes.
You have to
and
take
said-
accounts like that when people
Yeah,
say
he
things like
said it in front of a room of people too. So like,
Oh no, yeah, he definitely getting.
that.
and then the shop owner came and cut his hair, and then I was like, you know what, this ain't the place for me.
Yeah, right.
I'm out of here. And
He's
then
gonna disrespect you like that, and then the shop owner still.
I mean, it wasn't even so much. I mean, the disrespect. I didn't look at it as disrespect. I look at it as like a mental health problem first of all, because the dude was killing somebody over a haircut. You tripping, and then the shop owner, me making him aware of the fact that the dude threatened to kill me, and him coming in and saying, "Oh, I didn't know that," and then cutting his hair right in front of me. I was like that slap in the face,
Right.
And I was like, no.
But how are we gonna? Did you learn any lessons from that? How to transition or?
I did because at the time there was a lot of emotions flying, and I was still new to barbering and hadn't really grown into understand the business aspect of it. You know, being around people like Craig and Micah Taylor and those people, and learning what business is and how to handle a business rather than just being a emotional barber. You know, like and then I grown from that into dealing with the next shop when I had to leave the next shop.
Because you are a businessman, like Jay-Z would say.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
You know what I mean? So when you think of it that way, there's rules to engagement. There's
100%.
rules how to handle things. So what did you learn? What would you handle differently from that first one? We'll talk about the second one in a second. But what did you learn, and how would you handle it differently?
Well, I left pretty abrupt. I still worked out the rest of the week. I was very emotional. A lot of it was built up emotion. I should have just went to the crib, calmed down, kind of took a step back, looked inside myself, you know, and I've apologized to that shop owner since then, and he understood, you know, but I was just kind of, you know, that was a traumatic event. You know, somebody threatened to kill you. You know, I mean, some of y'all might happen often. I mean, I don't know where y'all listening from, but for me,
I think he should apologize to you.
he did. We're cool now. Yeah, we're cool now.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
That's serious. Sorry.
No, you're good. I should have went home, calmed down. Maybe he just wasn't fully informed of the situation. He was kind of caught off guard. You know, like I could have handled it better, you know, and you live and you learn. And like I said, I've apologized to him. He's apologized to me. He's welcomed me in his shop, and he's welcome to my shop.
Because when incidents happen in a shop, barbers need to unify instead of pull apart. Because when you unify, it shows that, hey, we all in agreement, and this is not going to go down in this shop like that.
And there was a few other factors that happened towards me leaving. That wasn't the only thing that happened. There was a few more things that happened. That was just like the break point. You know, like I felt like I was going to go crazy if I didn't do something, you know.
So hearing what Ammi just said, Jordan, what goes through your mind?
Communication. I mean, as far as like the predicament goes, I mean that's I wouldn't know how to react to that.
I mean, you good at cutting hair, so you might have to deal with that.
No, I already know. And I have a feeling I might have somebody that will be like, you know, just disrespectful for no reason. But I haven't really ran into anything like that yet, which I'm sure I will, because I'm sure everybody does at least once.
What comes to my mind, one thing that I can think of, I think to protect the shop owner and the barber, there needs to be some type of contractual agreement. Because when you have contractual agreement, you understand your role, and the shop owner understand his role, and it protect both of you guys.
And I agree. I agree that should be a thing. And some barbers now are scared of that, but I think that it's important to put it on paper what the expectations of because sometimes people just throw things at you like, I need you to do this now. And you're like, well, I never thought I would have to do that. You know, and the shop owners expected, hey, I need you to do this for me or I'm leaving. You know, we never agreed on me buying you anything for you to be here. You know, like that. There should be something on paper to set up a box for each other. You work inside a building, that's a large box, and inside the building should be little boxes so that each barber can get along with each other and the shop owner can manage the way he should manage.
Because I think a lot of barbers go into shops and don't know their expectations. Because you thinking your expectation is just to cut hair, and it's not. You have an obligation to your peers to come on time, to be punctual, to clean, to just be a brotherhood and bond.
Yeah.
So hearing what you just heard, Randall, what you think about that?
I think everybody got to be on one accord.
Right.
For the most part, everybody got to be on one accord, and you don't treat, oh, I'm the new barber, but you treat the shop as if it was your shop as well. So yeah, you got to have, like you said, people on time. You got to clean up when you need to clean up. It ain't just like you said, barbering, cutting hair. There's a lot of responsibility and tasks that you got to do and take, other than cutting hair, like you said.
Of course. And the great thing that you said is when you walk into a shop, you should walk into a shop and treat that shop like it's yours. Because when you treat the shop like it's yours, you're invested. So you won't go into the shop and see some toilet paper in the bathroom, or the bathroom needs to be clean and you're not cleaning it. It's all our responsibility. And the first one to see it need to take care of it.
And that's that's a hard thing for young people to get across when they first get in the shop, because they think, oh, I pay my booth rent, I can do whatever I want. And that's not the case. Like, you need to be just as responsible for the shop as is your shop, because a lot of times people don't look at the individual barber. It's like, oh, I got my hair cut at so-and-so at the barber shop and it was dirty. This place was dirty, or this guy messed my, it's not so much the individual, it's more the shop reputation when it comes down to it.
So now here we are at the second shop and you have to leave and things wasn't as rosy. You want to elaborate on that, and what could you have, because there are going to be barbers who are listening who want to know how to transition. What can I do? How to do things?
Well, okay, for my shop, it was a little more difficult because it was a family thing. I was in the shop I was open, it was going to be down the street. So put that out there off the rip. Initially, I told them about 3 months in advance that I was actively looking for a shop. Initially, it wasn't going to be inside of this town that I was in, but out of respect for my wife, she asked me to stay close to open a shop, and I'm glad I did. I'm blessed by it.
Oh, for
and
sure.
After I told him a month in advance, hey, I have found a spot. It is in town, and I'm going to be opening my own barbershop. And I gave him a month notice. He asked how long. He told me, don't tell nobody about the shop, your shop, while you're working here. Fair enough. That's almost like a no competition. I mean, contractually, you can almost go ahead.
He's afraid that you might take some clients with you,
and and that's a realistic thing.
But employees with you.
It could be both. It could be both.
And even stuff like that needs to be in a contract.
You can have a no competition clause. You can't be within so many miles of me if you work here. But I don't know how you would do that as. I mean, I guess you could do that as an employer. If you work here, you can't.
Out of respect, because you know how you start your business, where your business is going. And you also want to protect your business again and protect the barber. Both you guys should be on one accord and be respectful towards each other, because, hey, some people just outgrow some certain shops.
And that's really what it was. It's nothing personal. It's just that's the next level, right? We're sitting here. I can't tell people to go open a shop here on a podcast, and I haven't gone through those changes myself, right? So I have to experience these things to continue educating and fellowshipping with fellow barbershop owners.
Adding value to yourself. When you open a shop, don't do it just for the likes. Do it. Have a plan and understand that you add in value to yourself. And also, when you're moving and leaving shop, you don't just leave a shop just because you don't have a plan. You leaving and you going somewhere else because you want to add value. Like, you adding value to yourself. You opening your shop because you want to put some solidification on your name and on your brand.
That's the next level,
I always think, like you were saying, like you were saying, being more the man, not don't tell nobody that you're getting a shop or whatever the case may be. You can't fault the client that comes in if he decides, oh, well, I want to travel way out here. You said, there might be a travel and I can't cut within here.
Yeah.
But if that client still wants to travel all the way to you, is that still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, you clients, you work hard to build your own clientele.
Right.
And most of the time they come to you, sometimes they come to you because they like the shop environment, and sometimes they come to you because they genuinely enjoy you.
What if a lot of the clients, they might get cut by Johnny every time they come, but they really come into the shop because you're there.
Yeah.
Your spirit, your vibe and everything that makes them want to be at that shop.
I mean, you can't fault somebody for spending money where they want to spend their money. You know,
Yeah,
that's not fair to
basically
hold
what I'm
somebody.
saying.
You can't hold somebody back. You know what I mean? But all that builds up because people come for you after a while. After a while, the haircut is just.
It's just a haircut.
It's just a
They don't
haircut.
even look at it. They like, don't even give it a mirror. This is
But
like,
it's your personality, the vibe that you carry, your environment of your shop. Because everybody doesn't want to go in a shop where there's a lot of cussing, a lot of just a bad vibe, bad music. You know, people want to go in a nice, you know what I mean, environment.
release.
And some people they don't care, which is cool.
I think I had, like, when it comes to going to a shop, basically I think just one. I have this one shop that it's basically the only shop I've been to, but I feel like it's the only shop that is going to give me my chance at the beginning because
Right.
other shops are full, other shops are this or that. So I'm basically stuck, not necessarily stuck. I'm learning.
Right.
They teach me at the shop and everything.
And it's a process.
But I want to move up levels. You know what I'm saying?
You want to continuously grow
Yes, sir.
because you understand where you want to go.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jordan?
It's just another one of them episodes I'm just digesting, man. I'll be just listening because I'm like Emma. I want to kind of like go on my own one day eventually.
Right.
But I mean,
Inshallah.
But the thing is, you want to have a good relationship with the place you left. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's tough for shop owners because they're like, man, I'm losing a barber, I'm losing that income. But there's ways to go about it. You know what I mean? Because in life, this analogy is, and I hope people understand it. You grow the tree like you have a banana tree. For the banana tree to continuously grow, you have to cut the fruit to feed people. Because if you don't trim the hedges and cut the fruit, it's not going to continuously grow.
Yeah.
And you have to look at it as when someone leaves you, it's an extension. It hurts. It hurts because you're thinking about that income, that empty chair. But there's ways to go about it on both sides to make it be respectful.
Yeah. And I don't think if you have an employee, not calling myself a good employee or whatever, but if you have somebody that's doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're a good employee, they pay on time, they clean, they do all these things, they promote the shop, losing that hurts. I don't think there's ever a time where
Even sometimes losing bad barbers hurt because you're thinking like, man, I'm losing that barber. Even he doesn't pay you on time.
that's a sense of, I mean, you are losing something. Like
Right.
it is not really. It's you invested in that person as well. So sometimes that is it does hurt. But if you understand the game of barbering, that is a natural transition to barbering.
That is.
It's just like life. You know, when kids get older, not assuming everybody's children, but when children get to a certain age, they gotta get out the house.
And let's get this in the forefront before we even finish this topic. I'm not an advocate for shop hopping.
No.
I'm not an advocate for shop hopping. I think everyone should be in a shop at least 2 years. Some people can leave before, but give yourself a minimum of 2.5, 3 years to be in a shop to build clientele. Because you also have to realize that you don't have no overhead. And again, don't do it for the likes. Mm-hmm. Don't do it because everybody says, "Oh, you got your own spot," and you're struggling.
Yeah.
Take your time and build and grow because that can happen too.
Well, that's another reason too why you should, like, before you get in a shop, you should do your research.
Yes.
You should be in that shop a lot before you even decide to cut hair in there. You should be going in, hanging out, introducing yourself, you know, talking to shop owner, watching the shop owner cut hair. You should be in there to where you understand exactly how that shop's operating, what the conversation is, how it moves, so that you make the right decision initially out of school. Don't just go in because it looks cool.
Right.
You know, you might be going into a situation that is uncomfortable for everybody. You just can't see it on the outside looking in.
Or don't follow the next person.
Right.
I have a feeling, like, not a feeling, but lately I've been witnessing, oh, I'm going to this shop. I'm going to this shop with you. I'm going to this shop with you. Everybody wants to be together. So they go, I don't want to go to the same shop.
Right.
Thinking it's going to be the same environment as if it was in school.
Right.
Or whatever the situation may be. But that's not the case.
It's not. It's
When
different.
you get in that environment, y'all ain't going to be
business.
buddy. Let's go outside and smoke and do this and that.
It's
It
business.
ain't going to happen.
yeah.
Me personally, I'm trying to take another route. The route I'm taking is not the route I want to continue on. But it's the start. But at the same time, I'm not trying to follow, which I'm not following anybody else to what their priority, like, you know, what they want out of a shop. I'm not chasing that. I'm chasing what I need, what I want out the shop.
Some people are followers, some people leave.
And they'll just follow their friends because they think it'll be funner, the shop will be better. Everything they do, they make more money together. We all got that da-da-da.
That's a good point.
And, and then I just feel like I want to go a different route. I want to go to a low-key shop, but that makes money. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is with a lot of...
And then build myself.
And the thing is, too, you have to start somewhere and you have to grow. You're not going to come out the box busting it loose.
Yeah. It takes time. You got to build a clientele. You got to get your name out there.
Yeah.
You have to, sometimes you have to increase your skills. I mean, the best you are today isn't going to be the best you are tomorrow.
Right.
Like that's, you got to continue to get better. And especially fresh out of school, there's probably things you still need to get a little better at. Proficient. School is only a year. I don't feel like I'm the best barber I can be. And I'm cutting hair 4 or 5 years already. There's still a lot of things I need to get better at. So.
And one thing, rule of thumb too, when you're transitioning, pay your booth rent.
Yeah.
Don't leave the shop without paying your booth rent or squaring things up with the owner of the shop. That's not professional. That's not the way it should be. You're not helping the industry.
That is a habitual thing that I've heard from a lot of shop owners when barbers leave.
If you don't pay your rent, they kick you out the house.
Yeah, same
So
thing.
if you don't pay the booth rent, we're going to kick you out the shop.
Yeah, but don't look at it as, well, I'm trying to, my last month, I ain't paying them. Or my last month coming at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and try to clear your stuff out and steal stuff. That's not the real barber flex.
That's happened before.
Yeah. What'd you say, Jordan?
I said that's some messed up junk right there. Coming 2 o'clock in the morning to steal some stuff.
You'd be surprised.
Dang,
Let me go clear out before they open up.
Yeah,
so
I
they
mean,
know
but-
I can go on the sneaky level. In fact, I like them low pros too. Let me grab them on the way out.
Yeah, but leave on a good note because this industry is about reputation.
You're going to see each other again.
You're going to see each other again.
The barber community is very small.
Yeah.
It is a very small community.
Big, but it's smaller.
Exactly.
You're going to meet one another somewhere, somehow again.
Yeah.
I just seen him walking down the road. I'm like, dang, that's for me. I stopped and I was like, hey, what do the place is small. You're going to see
But the thing is, we talk about it all the time. In this industry, it's all about building
Connections,
relationships. It's all about building relationships. It's important. If you don't build relationships, it's going to be difficult for you.
And that's why it's so important that whenever you leave a shop that you leave in good graces because, maybe you move to another shop. That reputation follows you. If you're a bad employee, you'll be a bad employee somewhere else. Maybe you'll leave that shop again. And then eventually you'll get to the point that nobody wants to hire you. And then you'll have to move or whatever, or open your own shop, put yourself in a bad position to open your own shop and you don't have the credibility that you already lost all the credibility you had because you need to do everything the most professional way possible because this is a business. It may be not as proficient as say like Walmart or something, but at the end of the day, it is a business. It's people's livelihoods. It's how they make a living.
but I do feel like a lot of barbers, if they have like a certain type of shop owner that seems like they're going to be affected negatively, like they take it negatively when they leave.
I mean,
I might try to affect your like your name or something like after you leave. Like, it was trash. Like you wasn't good.
I mean, that happens too. But it is an uncomfortable situation. Sometimes it is hard to go to a shop owner and say, "Hey, I'm leaving." I mean, sometimes it is hard, but it's better to tell them now, be honest and open about what you're doing, than to just show up at 2 o'clock in the morning and take your stuff out and leave the key and not pay your booth rent and say, "Yo, I quit." Like that's not how you do things. You just don't do things that way.
Yeah.
That's dirty. It's like renting a vehicle and taking it back after you ain't supposed to pay it on 3 days on a Sunday and dropping the keys off in the drop box.
Yeah, there's ethics. And that's why this episode is important because a lot of barbers don't know how to transition. And you're thinking that you can just like leave one area and go another area and think it's going to be green on another side and you'll be respected. You're not being respected that way.
No.
You're affecting your reputation. You're affecting your income. And you're affecting the community as it is. People lose respect for you.
I'm in a transition phase as of now.
Right.
Leaving school and then going to shadow and
Right.
cutting at certain barbershops. That's it's tough for me. I don't know. I don't know if I should bring my stuff in. I don't know if I shouldn't. I don't know.
But that's why it's
They got
important.
their system.
But that's why it's important to even have like any type of transition, you got to have some type of communication. And then when you have the communication, like we were talking about earlier in the podcast, contractual agreements works because I know what to expect coming in and you know what to expect coming in. you know what you want coming in of the barber. But a lot of times, even me, when I first started with my shop back in the day, a barber told me he can cut. All right, cool, just come Monday and set up right there. But I didn't know what I didn't know. And once I started teaching and being in this industry and traveling and meeting barbers from around the country, it started making sense. We have to treat this thing like a corporation. We have to treat this thing like a viable business. Because when we don't treat it like a viable business and a corporation, things fall apart.
And that's why the industry's lost some respect.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. Is it not a corporation?
Yeah. You have to know when your booth rent is paid. You have to know when your commission, what your commission is. And if it's for a month, you have to know what your responsibilities are in the shop. Are you cleaning? What's your days to clean? What's your days to take the trash out? Do you have to know, do you have a key? Is there a key deposit? Do you have to know, is there a rent deposit? And what day do you expect your booth rent? How do you pay commission? What day do I get paid? Is there, what are the benefits? Are there insurance? Are there any types of vacation days? Are we vacation paid?
Anything I need to build up and fix at the shop. It's just so much.
Yeah, and once everybody has those expectations, it runs a little smoother. You know what I mean? Should there be a key deposit?
Chair deposit.
A chair deposit.
Chairs are expensive.
But not only that, it prevents people from misusing the equipment and coming in at 2:00 in the morning and taking their stuff and just bouncing. Mm-hmm. What do you have to hold them accountable?
When you say chair deposit, what do you mean by that?
Like if the booth rent is $500 a month,
yeah,
or a week, or whatever it is, whatever the booth rent is a week. You might just like a deposit for a house, so you won't leave in the middle of the night.
I work
like the
that
first
whole week,
yeah.
And if I get this, when I work this whole week, I get my $200 back.
Right. Yeah. And if you, well, I'm leaving.
Or if I skip out in the middle of the night, that's my. Okay.
You should probably just go ahead and do first and last, just like they would do lease first and last month, first and last rent.
That sounds like a great idea.
But I'm saying that. But when you treat it like a business, it's respected more in our industry. And people less likely to do the BS, and it's less likely to have some type of ill will towards the end. It's less likely that people don't take care of your barber chair or don't want to clean or don't, because everybody, all hands on deck. If you're part of this shop, part of the business, all hands on deck. Why wouldn't you want to be all hands on deck? Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Why not?
Reason why I don't think why you wouldn't want to be on hands on deck is because you ain't at your full. You don't want the full potential of what you can make out of this industry. And you're just playing with it. You're not really fully trying to achieve every goal you can achieve when it comes to this. This could bring so much different. And I read income just by barbering.
I read a stat. Interesting stat in Johnson City, barbers are like minimum making like $50,000.
Minimum.
This, you know what I'm saying? Just coming out making
Some
50
people
grand.
ain't even made $5,000 a year, and then they come from 5 to 25.
And that's big.
Grand.
You know what I mean? That's major. But
that's if you take it serious. You put your grind to it, and you don't stop. I make cars. I pass out. I done gave 2 free haircuts on the road. Like I'm doing
different things to boost yourself up. But when you bouncing around and don't transition right from a shop to another shop, your income gets affected. Your reputation gets affected. Even your cuts get affected.
Yeah, and open a shop, that's not an easy thing to like. It's like becoming a barber all over again. That's how I would explain it. Like you are all the insecurities and the fears and the nervous energy and the excitement, it all comes back to you again when you open a shop. It's like you get to do it all over again. And that's fun to go through it. But at the same time, it's a stage of growth. It's uncomfortable sometimes. So you want to make sure that you take care of everything that you need to take care of before you make that transition, or else you're going to add more stress onto what you're dealing with. And you don't want that. You don't want that because it's already enough to deal with what you have to deal with. Why leave something in a bad position and then have to deal with what you got to deal with? It's not going to help you. It's going to make it harder.
By far.
It's going to stress you out.
Yeah. So what and you hate that, you know what I mean? Because then there's going to be an even balance where you're going to see the shop owner at a hair show or see him at a function in your city, and now there's bad blood. where people are separate. And this industry is too much love to be having bad blood.
Yeah, and I'm not the kind of guy that walk around you in a room. Like, I can't do that. Like,
No.
I'm not that kind of guy. Like, if it ain't nothing there for us, then we go ahead and address it. And if it is, I mean, we gonna have to work it out somehow, because I just can't walk around people like that. I just don't.
But you shouldn't, you know what I mean? Because
As in walking around people in the room, like not greet yourself.
Not like I can't. I'm not gonna ignore that there's a problem. If there's a problem, it's addressed and we dealt with it.
And
You know what I'm
that's-
saying? Like,
right.
yeah, I'm not gonna. You got something wrong with dealing with somebody,
You just
and
move over.
yeah, you just like
and try to keep the tension.
just avoid them. Yeah, like that. I don't walk around people. Like, we address
I don't
it.
either. I do too.
let's talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's make the best of the situation.
But some people would rather walk around people for the rest of their life instead of just dealing with the situation right there.
Talk about it.
And then
that could
sometime-
be one of their best friends for life if they just.
And then sometimes some of the issues are so minor that we let some minor things affect our situations and our relationships.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, just communicate. Some people just won't take the time to communicate, because I've seen barbers and shop owners break up a relationship because neither one of them wants to meet face to face and talk about it.
So-
They just send text messages and talk.
One of the two scared that they're wrong and they're afraid to admit it. So therefore,
Yeah, it could be that too.
So the bottom line is, like you originally said, Jordan, is to,
Communicate.
that's it. And I think if you communicate and be like, hey, and be tactful. Hey, man, I thank you for everything you've done for me. Really appreciate it. But I think I'm ready to grow, and I'm ready. And the shop owner, his end, should be like, hey, I appreciate you.
It should bring flashbacks.
Yeah.
I remember when I was, a barber.
Yeah.
thank you for
Thank you.
spending the time you
Yeah.
spent with me.
Thank you for being
Everything
that.
I've taught you.
Yeah, thank you for being that person. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be an extension of that shop owner. No matter what, you're an extension of him, and he should be proud of that.
A lot of times the way they learn how to run a business is from the shop owner that they were with.
Right. I mean, but some people take that for granted, though. And I think in our situations, the only way to uplift this barber industry and our barber community is to communicate and be tactful and be respectful of each other
And pay it forward.
and paid forward.
Yeah.
That's so important. I know you've been sitting there just taking all this in. Like you said, this is one of those episodes I just want to listen.
Yeah, because it's stuff that I really wanted to dive in myself anyway. So knowing that y'all both went to Craig was on your shop, and he's done moved chops 2 times. So I mean, I haven't went through it yet. So it's good.
I mean, but
Well,
the
Craig,
thing is,
tell him about when you left Boston, Mr. Steele's shop.
so when I left, when I worked in a barbershop in Boston, Mr. Steele, he cried. And
He knew he was losing one of the
He-
best men he's ever met.
but the thing was, we had a great relationship, and he cried. And when I left, he told me, you know what? You're going to be a good one. But I'll tell you this too. No matter what, you always have a job here. If any push come to shove with anything, you always have a job here. Because I went into that shop and treated it like it was mine. There was nothing I would not do. On busy Saturdays when I wasn't getting no haircuts, I was in the shop cutting hair. I mean, excuse me, I was sweeping the shop. I was cleaning the bathroom.
What I've been doing.
You know what I mean? Just showing them that, hey,
Because you've said that before, and I took that in, and I started just cleaning and doing this.
he cried, and he came down to Johnson City from Boston to see my first shop. And he is so proud. He is so, every time you see, man, son, you did well. I'm so proud of you.
Is he alive today?
Yeah.
Has he seen your school?
Emma has met him.
Him and his son.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so have you seen your school?
Yeah, he know all, he
So
know.
he's your progression probably makes him.
Yeah, because I'm an extension of him. Because he's seen the progression, he's seen the work that I put in, and he's seen everything. And that was my first shop I worked in.
How old is he?
He's in the 70s. He's in
still
close to
cutting hair
80s.
too?
Awesome.
Yeah, he cut hair.
Emma, I met him.
Yeah, he look good. He look like he about, black don't crack. He look like he about 50. He look 40, 50 years old.
He's been enjoying his job then.
Still chopping. He was chopping when we walked in the building.
You know what I'm saying? And him and Spence in Dudley, Massachusetts, in Boston.
Yeah.
Just doing their thing.
amazing.
And I mean, he sent me a message the other day on Facebook, man, I'm proud of you. And whenever I go to Boston, I always stop in the shop and dap him up, go around, check everybody. That's like the first place I go when I go home. I just stop through, hit him up, say what's up. And
so much time there.
I
It's
spent
like
some.
you're home.
That's why I learned and honed my skills. I'm happy. I'm not. I'll never be not grateful for what I've learned from the barbers, from Brown, from Hassan, from Spence, from Mr. Steele, from Brenda, and all the other barbers who had came through there, who mentored me and taught me how to cut hair. Well, when I was starting, I remember they were teaching me how to do a taper and how to do how to do freehand, how to use a straight razor shave. You know what I mean? And just initially all those steps, but the thing I learned most from watching them is how he treated people, how he handled his customers.
I remember being afraid to do tapers.
Interaction.
Yeah, his customer service.
Tapers were different, man. It's such a
Yeah, you always want to put the line
How
in.
was he with his customers? Was he?
I mean,
Like, he can just read. He knew each customer is coming in.
yeah,
So
it
each
just
customer has a
polite,
different personality.
respectful. Just what was your perception when you saw those guys up there? What do you remember?
I felt like I was walking in my uncle's house or something. Like, they were just so cool and accepting and inviting. You could just tell, like, they are professional barbers because the room was just so inviting, you know, and they were ready to meet people, shake their hands, say, how you doing? And, you know, you could tell that there was a lot of wisdom in there. I felt like there was just so much. I could sit in that shop all day knowing what I know now. I would love to go back and just sit in the shop and just watch them work, you know, because you learn so much. And then one of the coolest things that I heard them say was how much money they gave for scholarships, like the money they donated, like the community work that they did. To me, that was so impressive.
Right.
Like, then did like $30,000 in scholarships or more than that that I can recall. So, and that stood out to me so much as well.
And those are things you pick up and you learn from your previous shop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when you pick those things up and you learn from them, those things you'll be able to apply.
And the scholarship thing is something I would want to do, you know, like
Right.
putting money back into the community. Like, that's what it's all about. And that makes banks want to work with you. You know, when you're employing people, when you're giving jobs, when you're donating money, all that stuff is what adds value to your shop.
Right. And it's major because people don't understand that those interesting things that you learn is things that you're going to take for your lifetime and help build you up, and you can take in your own shop. If you're not learning principles and learning things from the place you were before, even if you don't have a good relationship with the previous owner, there's something that you can pick up and carry on. Your pricing.
Yeah, you don't have to like him, but you can still pick his brain and learn something.
Right.
Oh, he's been in the business for 30 years. And here's somebody else. Oh, I ain't listening to what he got to say. He can't help me out tonight. He's been in the business for 30 years. There's
Right.
something you can pick from his brain
Yep.
that will benefit and affect what you do in the future as a barber.
So
But a lot of people don't
like all good things, this is a great podcast today, I know, but all good things got to come to an end. So what'd you pick up today from this podcast, Jordan?
communication is key. Don't be that person that's not communicating to your barber owner if you're going to transition or wanting to transition to a different barbershop or opening up your own barbershop. Really, the whole thing that I based off is communication. It's like you got to be able to talk. I'm willing to talk to your owner and all this.
What about you, Randall? What'd you pick up today?
like you said, communicate and don't follow the leader. Decide what you really want to do and when you're really ready to do it. And don't go into a barbershop or fresh out of school or whatever the case may be, jump from this shop thinking that you're better than this man or this man. You do your own thing, you work yourself up, and I think what you said was just, take your time and do you.
Yeah, I think that's important.
And eventually, that ladder will climb, and make sure the barbershop take care of it as if it was yours. That'll get you a long way.
What do you think, Ammi?
I think you should always be a professional. You should treat this like it is a job. You are a professional. You are your own boss. You are a corporate you. And you should be professional 365, 24/7. Even if the person that you're dealing with isn't professional, you should still remain professional and do the best that you can to do it. Whether you're a barber shop owner or, you work for a corporation every time.
And don't be afraid to go into a situation, go into a barbershop and have some type of contractual agreement something that the owner comes up with and something that you can add or take away. Because again, you do have some negotiation power when you have stuff like that. And if the shop owner wants you enough, you could add or take away certain things on that contractual agreement. But the contractual agreement helps protect you and the shop owner. It protects both you guys moving forward. And I think a lot of people don't think about those things. Those things are important in this industry. Having some type of contractual agreement. Boom. Again, Barber College Success brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Craig's Crown Cutz Downtown, JC. Spreading love. The Tri-City way is one way, but spreading love the Crown Cutz way. Shout out to Feed Spot for ranking as the top 25 podcast in the world. Shout out to Colossal Brand, one of our major sponsors. And again, shout out to Tennessee Hills Distillery. We were starting to work with these guys. They're going to be getting ready to do our reggae and wine tour. It's going to be June 10th. Looking forward to that again. But again, special shout out to you guys out there, all our followers, our fans. Keep subscribing, keep following us, share the page, like it. Check us out on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, all these major podcast platforms. Hit us up on Barber College Success, Instagram, send a question, comments to there. And if you have any question, hit us up. We'll hit you back. Peace.